Okay, listen, everybody. Giveaway. Awesome. Thank you, St. Eric. 2 giveaways, actually. So you're going to want to become a patron or a YouTube member. Okay, check and check. That's the first thing. Secondly, Wookiee looks like either Tom Green or Red Green. Just depends upon the vantage point that you're at. That's the second thing. Third thing is, it's time to get into some Star Citizen, because the Star Citizen After Dark. Thanks for joining me. Let's see what we got first. This video highlight is brought to you by our Wall of Famers, who make it possible for me to carve time out of my very busy real life schedule and do what it is that I love to do. Be with you. Thank you. Okay, EPTU out currently, I believe, 4.3. We're going to have fixes. Progress update. Let's check out what Space Tomato has to say on this. I could have that wrong, but I'm pretty sure EPTU out 4.3 is going to happen. I just played SC today, Ben Rover. And I'm really upset with 4.2.1.
Welcome to a monthly report. It's been a whole month, and I'm not going to go over it right now in this video. I'm actually going to have a live walkthrough with you guys on Friday. And you'll get to see like a more condensed version of my entire read-through, as well as a special ship section going on to Space Tomato 2.
You know what's funny too? We'll get back into this, but Bender Rover's like, so do you actually play SE? I play SE a lot, actually. You know, like a lot of people get upset because they're like, oh, DG doesn't play SC because some fucking content creators figure if they just say that shit, they'll get everybody, they'll poach my viewers and take them over their channel, which is about the skeeziest, sketchiest shit that you could ever do. But it happens, and it happens like all the time. Like every new content creator that comes to this is what I realized being an OG. Every new content creator that comes to the game is going to tell you that the person that you're watching your SC content from doesn't play the game, so they can take you as a fucking audience member, which is ridiculous. Because to me, you're not audience members. You're actual people that like to hang out, have a good time, and don't get involved in drama, clickbait bullshit. Can I get an amen on that? I'm so tired of the game. I am so tired of the Star Citizen content creator game in terms of content creators, because all the new dogs, they try and piss on all the other people, and it's like, man, dude, I've been through 6 phases of this shit. You know what I mean? So tired of that shit. You know how old that is? Oh, DG doesn't play Star Citizen. Fuck that, dude. I'm adding friends up in there. I'm doing things with people. I had to turn down fingers the other week, dude. I'm having a blast with it. Do I have times where I stop playing? Absolutely. Like if I get super frustrated with Star Citizen, I'll take my time out. I'll take a month, maybe 2 months. It won't stop me from researching and doing news on Star Citizen or watching people's content on Star Citizen, putting my opinion up in this shit, because that's what I do. I'm a what? An enhancer. Some of the best entertainment that you'll ever get here on this channel, and amazing people. You gotta love them. They're awesome. But like, I get so tired. I get so tired of these waves that come in of new Star Citizen content creators that piss on the prior wave. It's so crazy. There's so much pee in the pool. Oof, there's so much pee in the pool. I stay out of the pool. You know what I'm saying? I got my drink, right? I got my umbrella drink under an umbrella, and I'm just watching other people pee on each other. It's disgusting. It's gross. I don't even know why I'm here at this pool. Probably because I love the game.
In the coming days. But I wanted to jump into some of the cooler details for you right now. First, with a look at engineering. Yes, friends, the big feature, one of the biggest complications in ship and base management and space station management, all the things, is finally getting closer to the tech preview. I'm not going to say close just yet, because believe it when you actually see it. But first, before I talk about what they're talking about in the monthly report, I wanted to jump back into May, where Torsten Lehman, who is kind of the lead on a lot of this more in-depth gameplay stuff, was talking about where we were in terms of it getting to the tech preview.
Thank you, Chelly, for the support. Resubscribe, man. Subscribe for 5 months. Thank you so much, Chelly. Appreciate you, man. I like people that are positive, right? I love positive people, man. Thank you for the support and the love. It makes me feel good, man. It's a nice, positive place here, man.
Just to set expectations and give you an idea of what our wait could still be like, even though it is showing up in the monthly report. Listen in.
And then that's why he won't tell you. He knows when engineering's coming. He won't say it, because what if it slips? What if something happens and we miss it by a month? That's a terrible feeling that kills us. So we stopped. That's why we stopped answering when questions. But as for the landing stone, you got landing stuff. You have anything you can.
I mean, that's not necessarily 100% factual in terms of how Jared's presenting that, because the reason why the roadmap's out is because there's so much backlash with all the citizens getting pissed off, the multiple waves of citizens that were pissed off the support of the project that have torches and pitchforks. I mean, like, really, the roadmap is a direct correlation with people that were pissed off over the decade. You guys understand what I'm saying? So, like, everything in that's why everybody takes those roadmaps so goddamn seriously. And I always laugh at this shit, because I'm looking at the macro and I think to myself, man, if I want to get so involved in the minutia of this shit, then here's the thing. If you want to get upset, you should always, especially if you're a content creator, do it constructively and not burn bridges with professional people that work at Cloud Imperium. Shit. It kind of makes common sense to me. If you're somebody that really wants to report on the project, be a fucking adult. You know what I mean? Like, for real. You can be pissed off all that you want, but if you're going to burn bridges with Cloud Imperium staff because you're getting personal with them, because you're angry, you do not deserve to report on the project, because you're not doing it in a professional manner. It is time and time again what I see. All the time I have focused on this project, I've had my own moments where I was new to this shit, and, you know, me not having a filter, I fucked up numerous times. I'm not saying I'm exempt to this either. I learned along my journey, just like everybody else is going to learn when they enter this field, right? I think what's really most important, though, is that you always be honest and upfront with your audience, and that you try to be as professional as you can with the topics that you're covering. Like, know what you're talking about, research it, and if there's people involved in it, realize these are real people getting real paychecks, living from a real job. Anybody that treats it any differently does not deserve to be watched. I mean, can I get an amen on that? I honestly think there's a large percentage, I'd say 85% of the content that you see out there are people that really just don't understand game development, and what they're trying to do is just get a click or to monetize you guys. And frankly, I am just so sick of it. I just see it every place I go. So I'm happy that I'm doing what I'm doing the way I'm doing it. And I will never change that. Ever.
Tell them about.
Yeah, if the question.
So they were kind of teasing it back then, getting a little bit to the point where, like, okay, he knows when it's coming, but they didn't want to say anything about it. But then he did tell us this.
So, yeah.
Yeah, Bender's got great criticism. Bender says, well, they kept giving an unrealistic dates, capitalizing on hype for profits, but not keeping up with their own release dates. Absolutely. Bender, you're 100% right, dude. They've been doing that since the very beginning. That's how they have $800 million. Is it right? Absolutely not. I think most of this started from Chris, and Chris just super excited about the project, not realizing how much time these things were going to take, giving optimistic dates. And the reason why this started was basically the way Chris presented timelines. And another reason why we're seeing roadmaps. And, you know, the thing is with the roadmaps, I don't get super involved in this. You know, the thing that I get, like, I try and impress upon people that are looking at this and looking at the minutia and all the little things that get them mad along the road here. First off, I ask them to think about scale. And then secondly, I ask them to think about the technology that is required to make this dream a reality, right? Because when you present somebody a dream, they are going to either believe in it because they're interested in it in some facet or form, or they're just going to rebel against it. They're going to be like, oh, this is never going to happen. Fuck this shit. You guys are crazy. It's going to get polarized, right? When I take this project and I think about the scale and I think about what they want it to be, and then I think about the tech that frankly hasn't been invented. You know, I mean, like, it's the number one roadblock. It is why I say stability is the most important thing. And that is the core reason that's going to make or break this game. It's going to make it successful or moderately okay. Because if they can't do this in the format that they want, being an MMO that's going to be a giant MMO with large scale, and they cannot create the server tech that is needed to implement and execute upon that, well, then they're going to have some trouble. And that is the struggle. So when I zoom way out, I don't get so involved with the minutia. I'm looking at it from a macro view. And I'm saying to myself, well, okay, I understand the scale and I want this to become a reality, right? I'm down for it. Nobody else is even trying it. Number 3, nobody's trying this. Like, there's nobody else trying this on, like, so I'm going to root for this because there's nobody else trying this. This is just my rationale. Like, when I'm talking Star Citizen, I'm coming from the macro. I'm taking a step back. I'm looking at the entire scope of the project, the people involved with it, what it is they're trying to do, and the tech. That's it. When I report on it, that's where I'm at. So is it a possibility that this is not going to be a reality? Yes, absolutely. And I think that people, whether you're, whether the labels white knight or naysayer, it gets so stupid. People putting labels on people, but whatever side you're on, like, you have to be on a fucking side these days. That's the problem with people. Everybody's got to have a side, right? Nobody can actually just like comprehend the situation. No, we got to pick a side. Okay. But let's just say, okay, whether you're white knight or you're a naysayer on this project, the one thing I think that both sides should be able to agree on is that really nobody else is doing this. Like, nobody else is attempting this. So whether you could maybe name me a title, but we've gone through this project before where 5 different titles have been presented to us and we've said nope, there's not a comparison. So there really is no comparison out there like this. If they focus on this and accomplish this, they'll be the first company ever to be so successfully fan funded. I mean, this format here, what Cloud Imperium has done for game development and game funding is kind of trailblazing. He pioneered game funding and nobody really gets it. Like, I feel like my audience gets it. I'm not quite sure if like other people out there just finding this right now understand it, but they're like, Cloud Imperium and Chris Roberts have literally pioneered game development. They're changing game development as we speak. Even in this stage, in this alpha stage, after this many years, people said, okay, I'm going to take this template and I'm going to copy this template. I mean, that's pretty big, no? Like, to me, they're taking away from the AAA publishers. Now, there's pros and cons to that funding model. The con is that it can take forever and ever and ever and ever to complete because there's no publisher pushing on them to get the title out in time, right? But the pro is they can make it however they want to make it. And they do have the time for it. It's kind of like a glass half full, glass half empty argument. You could say that they have an exorbitant amount of time to make the title they want and look at that as a good thing. Or you can say they have an exorbitant amount of time as they want, and then you can view that as a bad thing. The thing is in the perception. Do you believe in the dream or don't you believe in the dream? And choosing one or the other does not make you bad or good. It's just your perception of the project with your experience with it. My experience right now, I'm having a pretty good time. I don't like 4.2.1 and the fact that they focused on these goddamn elevators and they don't work. I can't stand it. Like, why push a patch where you know that you got to rely on server tech and these elevators are not even pumping out the cargo containers needed for these missions? It's a complete dud. It's laughable. It's laughable what they did. So I hope you guys get it. Me personally, am I upset about it? Yeah. Is it going to ruin my day and am I going to just like say, oh, fuck the project? No, because there's nobody else doing it out there. And also, I'm actually having a fun time regardless of the bugs. I'm still having a fun time. So, and if I get upset, I just stop playing for a little bit. You get what I'm saying? Just kind of rational adult shit, you know?
Garrett already hinted at it, so it's engineering gameplay. So I think the good news there is that we are really trying to get it out sooner than later. I've been saying that for quite some time now, I'm aware, but like the Arena Commander demo that we did.
And you know, the crazy thing is gamers are so fucking passionate. I love gamers. They're the first to light those torches and get those pitchforks ready. And that's in us. That's the DPS that we're playing it out, dude. That's our DPS. We're like, we are upset. Like, right? You can hear it in the audience. He's like, I know I've been saying that for a while. And Jared's like, oh shit. They all know it. They all feel the pressure. Look at the face. They get it. They get it. But I think that, you know, both sides, both the audience members here at this event and these two up here that work for Cloud Imperium, I think they all realize the scale here. I don't know if the audience does as much. I mean, I know Cloud Imperium employees understand the scale, but like, I don't know if everybody understands what's being done here. I just don't think everybody understands the deepness and the complexity of what's happening here to the game funding, to the industry itself. It's completely changing because of what Chris Roberts has done and Cloud Imperium has done. I don't honestly think that a lot of people get the scale of this and that there's nobody else doing this out there. And people are just getting angry because of the time. And dudes, you got people, look at Betty. Betty's 61, he said, rocking it out, telling us about the 80s, right, Betty? Betty was telling us like the 80s were the shit, man. You know, Betty, I think when he first was into this, he was like 49 or something. He was like in his late 40s. Think about that shit. Think about something that's being built over that span of time. Of course, there's people that are mad. Betty included. I mean, Betty, but look at him. But Betty understands. And you know what? Betty might have a bad day, but Betty gets it. He's 61 years old. And he's like, you know what? I get what's happening here. Betty understands. He gets it. I mean, we started this together. Betty was like one of my first subscribers ever. Like with it, Betty, weren't you like my first like 500th, like under 500 subscribers? I literally think you, like the second I started posting Star Citizen content, I think I saw you in the very first comment in the comment section, dude. You know, Betty was here from the very beginning of this channel and this community. If anybody has any right to be upset about the time, it's Betty. But you know why I love Betty? Because Betty gets the scale. Betty understands the scale. Betty is 61 years old. Betty, out of anybody watching right now, should be the most upset person on the stream tonight. And Betty gets it. Because Betty's a fucking adult. Betty is saying the same things I'm saying. There's nobody else out there trying to do this at this scale. And don't you want a fucking game that can do it? And isn't this our best shot? Maybe it's not. But I've seen people tell me other titles, and we've looked at every single one of them, and guess what? They all fell short in some respect. Whether it was game design, game mechanics, tech. If it wasn't hitting on those 3 cylinders, it wasn't in comparison. The scale, 4 cylinders. The amount of people dedicated to the project. I mean, the actual business model. There's so much that's involved with this becoming a reality that people just kind of like. I don't get it, dude. They just forget. But they get angry, right? Because the time. Pitchforks, torches, pitchforks. And Betty's 61 years old, and he's just sitting here watching, having a good time. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying about the macro, about stepping back, taking a breath, and realizing things for a bit? I wish there were more Bettys here, man.
It was really helpful, and we really would like to, we mentioned it at some point that we have the tech preview channel, so we really want to utilize that, and especially from the key lessons that we learned from the Arena Commander demo that basically showed a glimpse of the engineering gameplay or what it can be. We realized, wait, we need more feedback, we need but the gameplay also needs to be in a more advanced stage than it was when we were in the Arena Commander time frame. So now we are really pushing hard, and everyone in my team is right now, or the people that are actually supposed to work on that in my team, they are really pushing hard that we hit a certain deadline that we set ourselves, that is sooner than later. So the earliest we can actually like, don't ask me.
Oh, he's blowing up, isn't he? He's blowing up in front of our eyes. I remember when I first watched this, and I was just like, oh, the amount of pressure. And you know what I feel when I see this, man, is like exactly what I've been talking about for 2 years now, is the team synergies and the communication between the teams. I've always said that this is an issue inside of Cloud Imperium. Communication within teams and looking at what the issues are and dealing with them together in a way where everybody can look at the problems and not have to write over everybody's work, and talking about goals on the teams together, where the teams are necessary to be together and talk about these issues together. It's paramount in executing on a roadmap and executing on a timeline. And that's, I think, again, this is me speculating, but from what I see and the pressure that this guy is under, the thing that screams out to me is that the communication inside Cloud Imperium needs to be better. And again, this is me speculating, but do you guys get that feeling as well when you're watching this? Put a 1 in chat if you guys agree, 2 if you don't. I'm just kind of curious to see if you guys agree with that or not.
Me, when I would like to have it, because that would be
When
tomorrow.
would you like to have it?
I would like to have it out tomorrow, but that is a very optimistic wish from my side. But no,
Booksy says too.
like,
I like that.
We really want to utilize the tech preview channel there, and
Nice.
right now we are really doing the best we can to put it there. And what I can already say is that the gameplay or the engineering gameplay there will not be the complete engineering gameplay. It will be another snippet of it, but it will be way more advanced than what you saw in the Arena Commander. And what you will also be able to do, so it will not only be Arena Commander, but it will also be like the PU. So
I would agree with you there,
the first time
Limitless.
experiencing the full,
In the context that we're watching right now,
first segment of the engineering gameplay in the PU, which I am really looking forward to get in all of your hands.
Yeah.
And fire.
And I agree with Death's comment here. And the other thing that I try and get across to people, they're both happy and mad at the project, is what Death has said down. He says, the game today is so far advanced from last year and has done this consistently every year for the last 8 years. And what Death is saying is that there is progress. And that is something I talk about all the time on the channel here. It's like, you might not like the progress, but I see the progress. You might not like the rate at which it happens or doesn't happen, but I still see that progress. And so like the whole narrative that a lot of content creators were giving you in the Star Citizen realm was, oh, there's nothing happening. Nothing's, this is prior to Pyro and everything. You saw some of the biggest content creators say nothing's happening. Like nothing behind the scenes is happening. No work is being done. And then boom, Pyro comes out, like all these events come out, and it's just like, yeah, that's what they were working on. These content creators were telling you there was no work going on, and then boom, this explosion of content hits. Although, 4.2.1, I'm not really happy with it all. But, Hathor and Stormbreaker, I think were very successful. You might not like the chaos there, but they put things down, they seeded it, and it's the progress Death is talking about. I totally agree with you, Death. I totally do. But when I watch this though, not talking about the actual progress in the game, when I watch this guy, maybe he's just nervous or he's got anxiety, but the thing that it screams to me is that there needs to be better communication with teams. Just watching this guy and his mannerisms and the reactions that he gets on his face, the gesturing just feels to me like there needs more guidance, or there needs to be a little bit more leadership. And again, I am speculating, right? I'm just saying I can read people pretty well. And this is what I'm getting from this guy.
True.
I'm excited to see fires just breaking out all throughout an Idris and whatnot. And people trying to run through and putting the fires out and stuff.
And that's actually a spoiler, isn't it?
Yes, Death.
What? The Idris is out. Everybody knows that right now, right?
No, I mean that the first release will be with fire.
No, we did like 6 shows on this thing. I've been talking about engineering.
I don't know, Jared. You've done shows on plenty of stuff. We never really know what is or is not coming, but we have seen some stuff on fire recently.
For years and years. I'm waiting on you. Let's get it out there.
Yeah, well, It also will have fire and fire extinguishers, so that it will be the first time that you then can actually be a firefighter in the game.
I've literally done like 3 shows dedicated just to fire. They know about fire. You know about fire.
Dude, we've done 3 shows, but like since 2020, probably at least like 6 other segments.
That's cool.
Truth.
Well,
so we've heard a lot about fire, and there are their expectations for the engineering tech preview. The fact that it's not going to be the full set of what engineering is, we've gone over that so many times on the channel. You could do a quick search and see some pretty big breakdowns on Space Tomato 2 and also on Space Tomato Gaming. They did have a goal at this time, and I don't know where it came from that it was going to be in June or July. People have been saying that they mentioned it would be in June or July or within weeks or something like that. We might have gotten more information since this convention.
Okay, here's what I think needs to happen in terms of just like engineering right off the bat. Okay, yeah, we got the fire, we got the ship mechanics. They're, destructible components with the fire, which is super awesome and great, and the fire extinguisher and doing that. Okay, great, wonderful. I want to get more into what they're introducing now, which are the circuits, and I want to get into creating circuits and security systems, hacking, coding on doors, things that I think should be done in terms of like the process of the game design. I think would be easiest to implement would be like security and hacking measures for doors. I'm so tired of shooting the doors to board. Anybody agree with me on that? Like, I think that wouldn't be that difficult to actually code these things in. Maybe it would. I mean, like, it would involve some type of redesign on ships that are existing, but I just feel like that should be the next step. It's just like security systems on doors. Thank you. Let's go. Hacking mechanics, and just, like basic kind of security components on ships that would feed into engineering, I think would be like the easiest thing to introduce. And then like talking about the UI, right? Like what I'm really nervous about the most is them being able to appropriately give you like a UI experience for engineering that would be cohesive and easy to use. I mean, talking about the MFDs and a lot of the monitors we're using currently in our ships right now, they're a little sloppy. They're cool. I mean, like the fact that you can zoom in, you can do these things, and they're so detailed, super awesome. I love it. I don't want them to change anything like that. I think when we're talking about like engineering, though, we're getting to other types of gameplay, right? I think you got to make it a little bit more fluid and a little bit more cohesive in terms of like actual design on an engineering panel, right? The engineering panel should control a lot, like security systems, fire extinguisher, fire alarm, all alarms, fire extinguishers, engine functions. Like, there's so many things that engineering, the new circuit systems, it should control like a multitude of things. And like, in order to put that, like, I think cohesively on an MFD is going to be very difficult for them. You guys get that feeling as well? It's like when I'm in my ship, all my different types of ships, and I look at these panels that are meant for engineering, I'm just like, man, I really kind of have my moment where I'm like, are they going to be able to do this correctly? Like, I want this to be a really serious portion of gameplay inside of larger ships. Engineering should be a really large gameplay portion of a ship that is, I would say, frigate and larger, or maybe even corvette and larger. Like, I want engineering to play a much needed, more serious role, so that multi-crew there's more meaning to multi-crew. Do you guys get what I'm saying? I think you guys get what I'm saying. Like, in order for engineering to be like where I want, where it's like chef's kiss, I need there to be like more reason for engineering to exist on larger ships, and therefore give more meaning to like people grouping up more. Like multi-crew. It's an MMO after all. And I feel like that, like, if you're getting a larger ship, people should realize in an MMO that you're going to need other people, or eventually AI that comes in, but we're nowhere near that. We'll talk about that on the roadmap.
But I don't have that on hand. What I do have here is the letter from the chairman this year, where we kind of have this talk about the tech preview. For anybody who doesn't know, this was...
Oh, what am I not seeing? I'm not seeing something. Wooks is very upset with his viewing experience. He's saying he's totally not seeing what's going on. I'm not quite sure what you're talking about, Wooksy.
The EPTU. And this was a big part of their focus on playability in 2025. And it was basically supposed to say, while we're going through our Evocati phase, our PTU phase, and then live, and then Evocati again for the next patch, PTU for the next patch, live, they would be having the EPTU running in parallel, testing features.
Yeah, I'm all in favor for romancing the doors. That's why I'm talking about like creating like a hacking system on doors, right? Rather than just like fucking blasting away with a rail gun, or you know what I'm saying? Like I think that there needs to be some type of gameplay on doors, right? I think we're agreeing here, Wixie. I'm not quite sure where you're saying that that I'm not seeing what's going on. I don't get that.
That would make a big impact on live and destabilize things. And rather than having them sit in live, they'd be sitting in this parallel testing track for anybody to try out if they wanted to and give feedback, but ultimately not ruining the more stable, more playable branch of development that we would normally be going through every month.
Right, Death.
Now, we've been seeing this normal branch going on, but the EPTU has not been used.
So I'm missing like this. Okay, so Wooksie's let me know that there was a whole 2-minute pre-pervert convo about doors. Sorry about that. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry I missed that, actually.
The big question.
And Death says the biggest issue with engineering is that multi-crew has no purpose. There's nothing a multi-crew ship does better in combat than a small fighter, and there's no real advantage to doing any big mission with a large cargo hauler solo. Otherwise, engineering is nice to have. Even worse, it makes multi-crew ships less attractive. I gotta say, in terms of like getting people together for a multi-crew experience, you know what the easiest fix is, Death? Raise the goddamn rewards. I say this all the time on anything. Like if you're in a mole, make the minerals worth more. If you're on the ground mining, make the minerals on the ground worth more. Make the salvage worth a little bit more. Make the industrial things that people are doing in the game right now worth more, so they can get into a multi-crew kind of experience where you can pay out people, and the payouts are healthy, and it's incentive for people to do these things. It just seems like the most basic thing to get people to get together to do multi-crew is just increase rewards. What do you think about that, Death?
Really has been. Yeah. Okay, well, the EPTU is going to have engineering first.
You're right, Death.
They also mentioned scanning and radar.
I actually thought about creating a new series called Fix Star Citizen. You know, and like the first episode would be me just on the ground mining, right, with a rock, and just mining and being like, make these worth more money, and all the moons and the planets will be fucking populated with gamers. And there'll be a lot of things to do if you do that. You know, like it just seems like one of the easiest fixes is changing a number in an Excel spreadsheet, you know.
And scanning and radar at one point. That's probably where they mentioned the engineering stuff. But we haven't seen it. So there's like a lot of tension and questions and whys and all that stuff. Well, now we have the July monthly report, which just came out yesterday, and it is saying here.
All right. We're gonna end this video here because we're gonna go over the July report with a Salty Mike video. We're gonna check that out a little bit later. You are watching Star Citizen After Dark, and that was Space Tomato, and very good.